You walk into this place seeking to preserve reality, yet you never question whether it deserves to be saved.
If reality didn't deserve saving, creatures like you wouldn't try so hard to break it.
I don't break it, Doctor. I reveal it. Pain strips away illusions, yours included.
That's the difference between us. You think suffering is truth, while I know it's just another prison.
Then step forward, Sorcerer Supreme. Let us see whose truth this reality bows to.
In this video, we're diving into one of the most epic matchups in multiversal horror fantasy history: Doctor Strange versus Pinhead. Two unstoppable forces born from darkness and higher dimensions, each carrying their own brand of power, dominance, and legacy. On one side stands Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, a master of time manipulation, reality bending, and the ancient forces that shape the cosmos. Armed with the cloak of levitation, the crimson bands of Sitarak, and a vast arsenal of spells granted by celestial entities, he is the guardian of our reality against threats no mortal could comprehend. On the other side rises Pinhead, the High Priest of Hell, a being empowered by Leviathan, the geometric god of suffering and absolute order. Towering at nearly 2 meters tall with a gaunt spectral frame, Pinhead possesses a brutal intellect, supernatural command, and eternal dominion over agony itself. So, what happens when multiversal order collides with the authority of hell? Who survives when cosmic sorcery meets the priesthood of torment? Let's break down their powers and abilities before placing them into a hypothetical battle to determine who would truly emerge victorious. We regularly post videos like this one, pitting iconic horror characters against each other to determine who would win. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these epic showdowns. Doctor Strange is more than a master of the mystic arts. He is the shield of cosmic order, the guardian standing between humanity and countless chaotic dimensions. Once an arrogant surgeon, Strange was reborn as the Sorcerer Supreme, a man who surrendered his ego in exchange for the knowledge needed to protect reality. His power spans the entire multiverse. His ability to manipulate time, especially the time loop, allows him to bend the rhythm and logic of any battle. In his confrontation with Dormammu, Strange died thousands of times just to force a cosmic entity into submission, proof of an unshakable, relentless will. The mirror dimension serves as one of his key strategic tools, a realm where Strange controls the terrain completely and isolates his enemy from the real world. Strange fights with the intellect of a scholar and the decisiveness of a warrior. And a being as illogical and otherworldly as Pinhead is the perfect challenge for the Sorcerer Supreme to unleash the full extent of his power. If Strange represents the order that preserves life, then Pinhead represents a far darker form of order, the order of suffering, the order Leviathan believes to be the universe's true balance. Pinhead is not a physical creature. He is the will of the Labyrinth, the metaphysical law of hell, given human form. Pinhead's power is not grounded in strength, but in reality itself. Every chain he summons is not merely metal, it is a spatial conduit. These chains can manifest from any angle, pierce matter, and latch onto both flesh and soul. The agony Pinhead inflicts goes beyond the body. It reaches deep into the essence of a being. Pinhead cannot die in the human sense. Destroying his body only sends him back to the Labyrinth to reform. As long as Leviathan exists, Pinhead exists. This makes him a foe that can be defeated, but almost never erased. More frightening than his power is his cold, ruthless intellect. Pinhead does not attack blindly. He watches, analyzes, and exploits the psychological weaknesses of his opponents. To him, pain is not punishment, it is enlightenment. With a single gesture, Pinhead can distort space itself, pulling Strange toward the edge of the labyrinth. Where Pinhead is strongest. In that realm, Strange would be forced to fight under rules that do not belong to the human world. Next, we will analyze the strengths and weaknesses of Doctor Strange and Pinhead. Doctor Strange possesses overwhelming versatility, rapid reaction speed, and unmatched battlefield control. He can deploy cosmic defenses, seal opponents away, or shift the fight into another dimension entirely. However, Strange is still human. When his body is injured, spellcasting becomes harder, and Pinhead, a master of psychological warfare, can exploit that vulnerability. Pinhead dominates in supernatural force, immortality, and spatial manipulation without movement. His chains are precise, unpredictable, and nearly impossible to evade. But he is bound by the laws of Leviathan. Outside the Labyrinth, his power weakens, and Strange can capitalize on that. This battle isn't simply magic versus torture. It is a clash between adaptation and absolute authority, between a mind that evolves and a being defined by unchanging law. Now, imagine a scenario where two supernatural forces meet at the boundary between reality and hell. Night falls over the ruined Gothic cathedral. Pinhead stands waiting at the center of the sanctuary. He has been there long before anyone arrived, as if this place were his natural domain. The massive church doors tremble as Doctor Strange steps inside. Pinhead does not move. He knew Strange would come, and he has been here, waiting like a judge of suffering, ready to deliver Leviathan's sentence upon anyone who dares step into his domain. The ruined cathedral shakes as Pinhead summons dozens of chains that whip forward in a deadly storm. They slither between pillars like serpents from hell. Strange instantly raises the shield of Seraphim. Divine light erupts, burning the chains into ash. Strange counters with an eldritch whip, slicing through space and cracking the stone floor. Pinhead dissolves into black dust, then reforms behind Strange, tearing open the back wall and dragging Strange toward the Labyrinth's influence. Strange pivots and opens the mirror dimension to imprison Pinhead, but with a single snap, Pinhead shatters the mirrored world, proving hell does not obey human physics. The fight escalates. Strange unleashes the crimson bands of Sitarak, binding Pinhead in a glowing red cocoon. The moment is enough for Strange to open a time loop, turning that instant into infinity. But Pinhead is unaffected by human time. He stares through the endless loop and whispers, "Eternity is my playground." Realizing the time loop is useless, Strange shifts to his final option, a forbidden spell capable of severing the metaphysical tether between Pinhead and Leviathan. Golden light detonates across the cathedral, cutting through layers of reality and slicing the connection. A cosmic scream echoes as Pinhead's form fractures, cracking apart like shattered porcelain. When the dust settles, Pinhead collapses into ash. Strange, exhausted but standing, surveys the silent ruin. The winner, Doctor Strange, not because he is stronger in raw power, but because Strange possesses the one skill Pinhead cannot counter, the ability to sever a being from its metaphysical source. Pinhead dominates in his realm, but Strange exceeds him in adaptability, sealing magic, and multidimensional strategy. Immortality does not equal invulnerability, and Strange understands that better than anyone. When the battle ends, Strange remains the last one standing. Not because Pinhead is weak, but because Strange knows the only way to defeat a creature of hell is not to destroy it, but to cut it off from the place that created it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, comment below which showdown you want next, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another Who Would Win battle.
Waiting for the next episode on the Multiverse Saga.